Hi everybody, Kat from Creative Crafts, and today's DIY is going to show you how you can make a cake topper all by yourself. Make it look professional, and you can, it's so easy to make with the Cricut machine and with the program. If you can find a program that does the same thing without the Cricut, super. You can do this on your own, like I said, with the X-Acto knife and with your printer. Make sure you use cardstock and not normal paper, because normal paper is way too thin. You need to have cardstock. So we want to know how to do this, and you want to do this with me. On the next step, I will let you know exactly what you need to do. So things that you need to have for this is very important. Of course, you need the sticks for the cake holder. You can buy big ones, thin ones, but make sure they're sturdy enough for the size that you make. Several different kinds of cardstock, different colors. Of course, you need to have the program where you can print out the letters the way you want. And you need glue. I have the universal glue, which I got from the Euro shop here. It was €1.10 for it, so it's good, because if you buy universal glue from Yoo-Hoo, from this firm, from this company, you'll be paying €8 for it, and I got a good deal with this, so I bought a whole bunch of them. And you need hot glue sticks. Very important that you have this. The hot glue is actually what helps this look a little bit more like a 3D element. Makes it stick out a little bit more, the hot glue, and this is what you want. So this is what you're going to do. And what I'm doing now for the cake toppers is, people, you know, you always have people want to have names on the cake toppers. Well, what I'm going to do with mine, I'm going to sell them on Etsy. I'm going to add these onto the cake topper. I will make it so that you'll have several, a couple of pieces in it. So if you need to have several different names on it, you can. And they will also come with double-sided clay tape on the back of it, so that you can stick it on here with the names that you want, if you want to have a name. And you can write it with a permanent marker or colored pencils. If you want to make it fancy, do it how you want to do it. I decided to do it like this because a lot of people, some names don't fit on it because it's so long, and I will have a couple of different sizes on it, so you can add on to it. So if you want to know how to do this, watch for the next step. Well, everybody, I have the Cricut Design Space on, and this is what I usually use. And what are you going to do is, of course, you add on to New Project. Click on New Project. And you have this area here. And what I do the very first thing is I write happy birthday. And that's it. And what you want to do is you think, oh, what kind of font do you want to have? So what you do is you go into fonts and make sure you check to see that it's fonts that you don't have to pay for, because I grabbed a font for one of my projects and I didn't realize I had to pay for it, but I wanted that font, so I paid €4.49 for it. But there is so many different fonts here which you can pick from that, that would be great for your any kind of projects that you have here. Then you double check and you say, okay, is that what you want? Yeah, I want to have something like this. This is for like a kid's birthday. You can leave it like this, but if you want, you can put enter and say, I want it in the middle. So then what you do is click the sign and then move it. If you don't like it the way it is, you can always go to the layer over here. If you see my thing here, you can click this ungroup, and when you ungroup it, every letter is separate. Then you ungroup and then you go like this, and you can make the H a little bit bigger. I like that when their things are a little bit bigger. And what you could do is then after that, click on it and then you group it back up together so that it becomes a group, so that now it's one piece. Because if you ungroup it, if you cut it certain ways, it will not cut the way that you need it, and it's better that you group it so that it knows that when you say make it, it will actually make it the way you read it. Sorry about my quality of my video. I'm doing this by myself. I don't have a professional. Yesterday I made a video with my phone. I didn't like the way it looked, so now I'm using my camera. So I decided to do this, and you're going to say, okay, what kind of birthday party is it? Who is it for? So you go into images, which is on your left side here with all the templates and everything. You go into images, go like this, and go back up here. And then you look here, they say animals, clothing, fantasy, places, travel, religion. They have so many different things. We can put zodiac signs if we want on it. You know, I made one for a boy with a dragon on it. We can do this one, add this one to the canvas. Make it smaller. And then we can do something like this. Make sure it's in between. And you say, okay, I don't want to have it that color. Say we want it gold. You can do that. And then you can move the lettering just a tad bit over. And then we can do it like this. And then, like I said, if you want to put a tag like I had, what you do is you go into shapes and you're going to say, okay, let's put this shape here. You want to have it white, of course, because that's usually how it is. And then you want to make it a little bit longer so you people can put the name. You can stick that underneath if you want. And I can then, after that, what I do is I try to find something that will match with this. You say, okay, let's go back to images. I don't know why zodiac sign has a dragon, but okay. So we can go back, and then we can go to nature maybe. And you have all kinds of different things that you can add onto it with the dragon if you want. I don't think flowers would go with a dragon. But I can write here, go to category, and then go under here, and then write night. And then we have these nights that maybe we can add on to it. I think that would be cute. I mean, something like this would be cute for a smaller child, but if you're doing it for a little bit of a older child, they would want to have something more in his style maybe. And then you just look and see what they have. You know, they have something like this. I used this for one of my projects already for a different one. The birthday one, it was pretty big, the birthday sign, and that didn't work out well. And what you could do is I can go like this, and then I would say put to back, and that goes like this, and you can leave it like that. If you want the wording back to black, probably would look much better when it's black. There you go. And then make the night maybe a dark blue. Maybe white. No. Also maybe the same color as the dragon. Because in the end what you could do is maybe make it a silver or a gold one. You can make it silver. But what you would use is a metallic silver color, which will make it look even better. So now that you have everything that you want on it, I'm clicking everywhere, but when you have this program, you'll know what I'm talking about. You grab the whole thing, and then you go offset. You click on that, and right away you can see here these little images here. I usually try to make it a little bit more thinner for the beginning, because you're going to put several layers to make it thick, to make it stable. So this is the first layer. You say apply. I don't want it that color, so what I will do is maybe say, okay, I want it like a dark blue. And then I go to offset again. It makes another layer. And then you say apply. Then I will add that one as white. Then you go again. And you can maybe make this one just a little thicker. You know, so that it looks better. Then you do that. You can do it like this. You can add other colors to it. You can always change the color here where it says operation. Over here, this area there, you can always change it, the color, to any color you want. You can put yellow. You can put red if you want. Orange. You know, purple if the kid likes purple. I mean, doesn't matter what colors it is. Actually, I like this purple. And I think this looks really good like this. This is a really great choice. And then what you need to do is you click on the dragon again, and you have to click this little here, this button over here, and you make another one. I do that because I want to make it look like the dragon's coming out. So you make several different layers. Don't have to be the same color. You can always use different colors. You can change the colors of the paper anyway. You don't have to really, you know, put it here. And what I probably will do is end up using a dragon color, you know, the silver with the metallic color or with glitter on it. That's what I'll use. I have 3 layers of the same, and I will do the same thing with the knight. Make a copy and you add it there, just so you can see what it looks like, and add it there and see what it looks like. Make sure it's pretty easy when you do this. You make the design yourself on here. They have other designs. You can go into projects and write cake topper, and they will come with several different kinds of cake toppers that other people have made. I save my stuff always for myself. I'll put knight number 2 cake topper. You can make your own birthday cards too here in the program. I will go put it under my collection birthday, and I will save it so I don't lose this. If you're gonna make if you have like a business and you want to make a lot of them, you can always, you know, cover this whole thing like this, and then you say, you know, make it double, and then you have 2 of them there. You could do several different ones. Depends if you have the product for it. I am just making this one right now today. And I think this looks pretty good. Or maybe should I put the lettering white? Maybe that will look better. I'm not sure. Do I like it white or do I like it black? I think I like it white because you can see the lettering much better with the white. And then maybe I can, let's go back. Let's delete that. Let's delete that. Let's delete that. Oh, God. Delete. So now we get that gone. We have what we want here. So now I'm going to go over it one more time, and then I'm going to do another offset Sometimes it takes a while. I want to make it a little smaller. I don't want to have it too big. And then I will apply it, and I think a little bit of black in it looks pretty good, especially if it's for a boy. We could use blue. There is blue in there, and I have purple in there. So those colors are actually for boys. So we could leave it like that. So the next step is, of course, is what you're going to do, where you're going to put the paper. And I like to use the light grip. And I usually take this little squeegee and I go all across to make sure there's no dust or any particles that don't belong there. Because if you have anything underneath it when you're printing it, it would not be a good thing. And now I need to stick the paper on here. Don't forget, because as you can see, it has numbers. And the numbers you see are these little ones, the centimeters, because we're in Europe. So you're going to make sure you stick it here. And you see that the horses go up to 20. So you have to make sure the paper is big enough for that. So what we're going to do now is we need to get the silver paper. Where are you? I have this nice little glitter paper that I'm trying to look for. That's what I'm going to get. So I'm going to get all the papers that we need ready, and then we're going to go. So everybody, the cardstock that I have has many different colors, which you can use. Comes with 2 for every color. If you want to make 2 sets, has the red one here, you know, a set of 2, and the 2 colored blues. It has so many great colors here that you could use. It comes as a set. I think you pay €9 or something like that for it. They have also black. The silver I think I already used, so we're going to have to use a different color for the top part. I could use black. You could always change it on the program, what you want, if you want to change it on black and see what it looks like. So let's take only the top. I'm just going to use only the top one and add it as a black. Maybe that'll look better. And we'll see what happens, because it's going to be like a glitter. Before you actually cut it, before you put it in the machine, make sure you use this roller. It actually helps it fix onto the pad that you have. These pads are sticky. As you can see, there's 3 different kinds of stickiness. There's one that's very light, there's one that's normal, and then there's one that's very strong grip. Strong grip is actually for when you use leather or acrylic when you want to do engraving. Those what you would use. So now we're going to go into the machine and we'll do that next. So now that I have the machine on, what I'm going to do is you're going to have to stick this in. So now in this program, what you do is you say continue, and then you have to pick out a paper form. You go up to here where it says browse all materials, and you go into there. But I already saved it, because you can pick this little box up here, make it green, and it saves it onto your program that you always use it. So I'm going to use this one here. This one there, it says cardstock, and you see it tells you what to do next. So now I'm going to do that, and it shows that you have to press this number here, well, the arrow that says up and down. Make sure these things are correctly in and it's against it where you can't move it in anymore. Then you press that button. It's going to measure it, the pad, which one you have. And it sees how long it is, and then it's okay, it's big enough for it, it will go further. And then it will tell you to play the cut button, which is this little arrow, means go. So you press that and it will start working, and it starts cutting everything up. It's a pretty cool machine. I would say it's worth, if you do a lot of hobby work, it's worth getting it. if you like to make your own gifts and cards and stuff like that, it's a time saver actually, because you don't have to cut everything by hand. So as you see, it's blinking. That means that it's done. And then you press that button and it helps pull it out. You do not pull it out before, unless you see this button, because then it can ruin it. So now that I have taken it out, you can usually take your little tool here and you can lift it up. Usually you should be very careful, especially when you have like the horse's legs. Make sure you can use this, you can use your fingernail, it doesn't really matter. Just make sure that, you know, that you pull it up carefully so that you don't break your image that you actually cut out. Sometimes the paper sticks to it like you see here, but that's no problem. It should be fine. Do not throw this away. I try to save it as much as possible. I cut whatever I can to be saved because you can use many different sizes for this. And like I said, don't worry about this area here. Like I said, you pull it off. It should be fine. Or you can use your X-Acto knife for it if you want. But I usually, before I take it off, I use this little gadget here, this thing, and I take any excess paper from it that I can, that you don't see, so it doesn't look so funny. And that's it. So as you can see here, the lettering, doesn't say happy birthday. That means you have to take it piece by piece and put it on there. So now I'm going to cancel this because I don't want it like that. And I'm going to cancel again. And I'm going to take these letters and I'm going to attach. And let's see if that helps now. Because I do not want, yeah, that's much better. That's much better. You see how now it says happy and it says birthday. Before it was all mixed. You don't want it like that. You want it to be together. So, and to cut it correctly, that's fine. What I can do is to save room, I can turn this. You can move these. And this actually, I think I'm going to have to use two different layers, because you can see right now the paper here goes down to 24 and the normal paper size that I have goes only to 21. So I can't put it up higher. It won't let me because of the top part there. So let's see how we can do this. This goes all the way to almost 30. Yeah. So what I can do is maybe try to turn this too and put it here. Yeah, that's fine. And put it on this side. And then do the same thing for this one. Because you really, if you don't have a big piece of paper, you really want to make sure that you have enough there for it. Now I'm going to have to double check how I'm going to do this. Maybe I could do it like that. Has to be cut kind of like this, because if you don't want, I don't want to waste any paper. I don't think I can. I'm going to try this. I'm going to see what happens. I don't think it's going to see it. I don't think it's going to see it. But we'll try. So now, as you can see, I am going to see if it works, how I set it up. I don't think it's going to, but we'll see. Actually, it's working. So you can do it like that. I wasn't sure. We'll see if it cuts the other thing. I'll let you know. So everybody, it actually did cut it, like I was hoping. So this is another layer. Like I said, be careful when you pull it up. You don't want to pull things up that are not supposed to get pulled up right away. Usually it works really well, unless it's very fine, like with the knight and the dragon. Like I said, don't throw these papers away. Put it aside because you can reuse that stuff. And now I want to do is take this one off. This is one layer of the that we made. Like I said, you have to be very careful because if you rip it, then you're going to have trouble. You're going to have trouble, not have trouble. Have trouble. So that is the very first layer that goes actually on top. This is the part where the people are going to write their names on it. And now I'm going to take off the lettering and put those on the side. Yes, they are separate. It's how I wanted it. And like I said, you have to be very careful for when you do this. Make sure the lettering are all together with how you want it. Take this all off and then you go to the next layer. We have several layers, which makes it look more professional when you have lots of layers. On the end of this video, I will have a little collage of the things I've already made with the Cricut from Birthday Cake Toppers. So I will have that at the end, so you have a little bit of, you know, kind of like ideas what you could use and what you could do. So everybody, I'm done with printing out everything, all the pieces that we need. Now you need to assemble it to how you see the picture on the program. You just go back and you make sure you press done. And then you see exactly how everything is supposed to be. So definitely this is supposed to be there, the white underneath that. And then you put the purple and then you put the black. And you see the layers, how they are. You can see, you know, all the layers that are there. That's supposed to be empty? Yeah, I knew that. There was a piece that's not supposed to be there. So, make sure you have all the layers that you need taken out. You can see that here has a little bit of extra paper. You don't want that sticking on there. So this is definitely the bottom, the back part. And what you want to do is you glue step by step. You start from the bottom and then to the top. Or you can start from the top to the bottom. It doesn't really matter. But I decided, you know, what you could do is I'm going to use this kind of the universal glue on this part here. What you do is you just take the glue and make sure you don't go too much on the side because you know there's a space here that's free. And here I will just go in the middle. And this is all you need to do is make sure that there's enough glue in there so that it sticks. The hot glue I usually try to use for the next couple of levels. This level I just want to do this so you know that it's stuck. And you have to move it around, make sure that you have it in place where it should be. Make sure there's no glue sticking out anywhere. No, there isn't. And now we have this part is done. So what I'm going to do now is I have to take this extra white paper off that's sticking. Yeah. So now that is done. And the next step is, of course, the next color, which is the white. And now I will get my glue gun and I will get the hot glue gun and glue this all on so that it has a little bit of depth. And then I will do the next one and the next one. And then I take the letters, then you take this one, you put this also with the hot glue because it sticks it up a little bit more, and then I add the letters. The lettering, I will use the universal glue because you don't need to have that sticking up. And then for the horses that I want to glue all together, all these pieces, I will use the hot glue gun for some of them, and some I will use the universal because the gray part I will stick to the bottom, so I will use the universal glue. And then the one that has the glitter, the paper with the glitter, I will use the glue gun on it so that it sticks up a little bit. I have several different ones, so we can put many different layers on it so that it looks a little thick, and that's how you want to do it. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to put my glue gun on, and then I'm going to do the gluing of the paper, the white one, onto the purple one with the glue gun. So everybody, my glue gun should be hot by now. And yeah, the white goes first. And you have to make sure that you don't put it on the outside part. You see how you have to make sure the glue is only in the areas where the paper is, because then it won't look good. So what I do is hopefully it works fine. Oh, come on, you're supposed to get hot. There it is. So, and I'm just going to make a little line through the middle area. Like I said, make sure you don't go too much on the ends, because if you go on the ends, it'll stick out here on the end part, and then it won't look good. So what I'm going to do is, hot glue stays hot for a while. So you're going to make sure that it's all in place where it belongs. You see, you can always see that it's sticking up in some areas. It's not really, that's how I want it. And that's basically why you use the glue gun, so that it looks a little bit like a 3D effect. And the same thing goes for this part. I will use the glue gun on this one too, because you want it a little bit thicker, and and this one has to be more careful because you can see the lettering, and you don't want to have that sticking on there. So what you have to do is follow the lettering, and then just make little lines, like it's saying happy. The dragon doesn't matter because it's pretty full, you can see that. And then you follow the birthday, which is a Y, the P. Just try to get in areas that and then here in the middle. If you do end up getting some spillage of glue in areas where you don't want it, it's see-through, so it's not really going to look that bad. Like I said, just lay it on, don't squish it down. You don't want to do that because that's how you get that 3D effect. If you just lay it very gently on top of the glue, and it should stick very well. Let that sit and cool a little bit, because I don't want to touch it unless I know it's cooled. And then I can add the letters to it. And then after I add the letters, I will add the dragon and the knight onto the areas where it needs to be. And then we can add the rest to it. So we'll go to the next step. So everybody, now it's time to use the universal glue. And I'm going to take one each of the gray dragons, one of the dragons and the horse. And I'm going to glue these onto the blue piece. Make sure you don't put too much on it. You don't want it to be too extreme with the glue. Just enough so you know that it sticks on. It doesn't dry very quick either, so make sure you get where the legs are. Very important, or it's not going to stick. And make sure that you close this right away before the glue starts splurting out everywhere. And then you add that piece that you want and make sure that you have it in the area so that you know that it's even, so it doesn't look odd. It's very important that you make sure that it's even. This glue actually dries clear, so if you get some over, it's fine. Just want to make sure that you get it down fast, well, tight. And then once that dries, you can add the other parts of the dragon, the gold parts. Now I'm going to add the lettering. Just make sure you have them in the correct way. This glue comes out very quickly, so you have to be very quick. And make sure you, like I said, don't put too much pressure on the glue. You don't want to put too much, because if you do, what's going to happen, it's not going to stick. It'll just be a sticky mess, and you don't want to have a sticky mess. So just do the happy first. And that's when I want to use this thing too with it, so that if I need to move it, I don't use my big floppy hands. I use my pick. Because you have to make sure you have it in the place where it belongs. Yeah. And now we need the A. Make sure the A is in there, and then you move it to the place where you want it, so that you know that it's in the correct place. So, here's the other P. So that goes here. Like I said, the glue dries clear, so you just make sure you put everything in the place where it belongs. And now we go put the glue for the birthday. You can use hot glue if you want. It's your choice. If you don't want to use universal glue. If you can't get it cheaper like I did. I got mine pretty cheap. I'm just gonna put very little bit of glue on it. Don't want to have to have too much glue everywhere. So now I can add my other letters here. There we go. And I do recommend that you get tweezers if you have long nails like I do. Very difficult to work with if you have long nails. go. I have to keep checking my camera because it shuts off on its own. There we go. Now I'm done with that. And there you go. And like I said, I'm going to add a sticky double-sided tape onto this. So if you want to put a name, you can stick it there if you want. It's your choice. We'll leave it like that. Now I can add the other parts to for the dragon and the knight. I will use hot glue for that part. We'll do that next. So everybody, now it's time to use the universal glue. And I'm going to take one each of the gray dragons, one of the dragons and the horse. And I'm going to glue these onto the blue piece. Make sure you don't put too much on it. You don't want it to be too extreme with the glue. Just enough so you know that it sticks on. It doesn't dry very quick either, so make sure you get where the legs are. Very important, or it's not going to stick. And make sure that you close this right away before the glue starts flirting out everywhere. And then you add that piece that you want and make sure that you have it in the area so that you know that it's even, so it doesn't look odd. It's very important that you make sure that it's even. This glue actually dries clear, so if you get some over, it's fine. Just want to make sure that you get it down fast, well, tight. And then once that dries, you can add the other parts of the dragon, the gold parts. Now I'm going to add the lettering. Just make sure you have them in the correct way. This glue comes out very quickly, so you have to be very quick. And make sure you, like I said, don't put too much pressure on the glue. You don't want to put too much, because if you do, what's going to happen, it's not going to stick. It'll just be a sticky mess, and you don't want to have a sticky mess. So just do the happy first. And that's when I want to use this thing too with it, so that if I need to move it, I don't use my big floppy hands. I use my pick. Because you have to make sure you have it in the place where it belongs. Yeah. And now we need the A. Make sure the A is in there, and then you move it to the place where you want it, so that you know that it's in the correct place. So, here's the other P. So that goes here. Like I said, the glue dries clear. So you just make sure you put everything in the place where it belongs. And now we go for, put the glue for the birthday. You can use hot glue if you want. It's your choice. If you don't want to use universal glue. If you can't get it cheaper like I did. I got mine pretty cheap. I'm just gonna put very little bit of glue on it. Don't want to have to have too much glue everywhere. So now I can add my other letters here. There we go. And I do recommend that you get tweezers if you have long nails like I do. Very difficult to work with if you have long nails. There we go. Have to keep checking my camera because it shuts off on its own. There we go. Now I'm done with that. And there you go. And like I said, I'm going to add a sticky double-sided tape onto this. So if you want to put a name, you can stick it there if you want. It's your choice. We'll leave it like that. Now I can add the other parts to for the dragon and the knight. I will use hot glue for that part. We'll do that next. So now I'm going to do the dragon, as you can see here. And like I said, with this, you don't want to put too much glue on it. Just enough. So you can stick that part on. And like I said, do not press down. You press down, what's going to happen, like I said, it's going to be flat. And you don't want to do that. You want to have the 3D effect on it. So you let it sit. That needs to sit for a little bit until you put the next one. So I'm going to do the knight now on the other side. Like I said, try to be very careful on how much you glue on it. I'm not going to do the legs to the horse. I'm going to keep it the way it is. So like I said, you want to try to make sure you put this in exactly the spot that you want it, and do not press down. It will not look good if you do. And then I have several more. I think I'm going to put one more. I cut too many pieces out. So I'm just going to put that amount on it, and that's it. And I can use this for, if someone says, oh, they would like to have one, I can always make another one for them. I'm making one of every one that I made, and then I will make a picture, and if anybody would like to have it or buy it, they have to let me know. And then I can make I'll make extra then. All right. So here we go. Here comes the other step, which is now I'm putting one more dragon on top to make it a little bit thicker. And this time I'm just going to put it on the body. I'm going to leave the head free. And then I'm just going to add him on there now too. Just like I said, just lay it on top. Do not flatten it. Same thing goes for the knight. Just on the body part. You don't need too much glue for it. Make sure there's any extra paper or anything on it. And then make sure you have him in place so that it looks like this. Do not touch it. Let it sit now and let it cool down. And once it's cooled down, we can do the next step. So everybody, the last step of this, first I want to show you how great this looks. You know, see how that it has the 3D effect on it and everything? I think that looks awesome. Like I said, when you're very careful, you don't get glue everywhere, it looks very professional. And what kid wouldn't like this on his birthday cake? You know, and how you can stick the sticks on now. This is what the step is going to be. You need to make sure I put 2 sticks because it's pretty heavy. And what you do is I stick one up here and one down here. Just 2 pieces because you're sticking other stuff on there. And then I stick the stick on. And then what I do is I twist the stick while the glue is still hot so that it's actually twisted on. So, and you do the same thing for the other side. Make sure that you don't mix it up. And then you do this, and then you do this. Make sure there's 2 of them on it because it makes it more stable. And you have to make sure that it's level. So what I do is I make sure that it's level together on the bottom of this piece here. Make sure that it's level. And then now I'm just going to wait a little bit to let it cool before I put the top. You say that doesn't look good? Of course not. But what I'm going to do now is you cut one more extra piece out. This is an extra piece that you add onto it that you're going to glue now on top of here so that you can cover it. So once that cools just a tad, then you can take your glue and make sure you put it in a place where you know that it's not going to show. If you put it in an area, I just put little dots because that's how you want to make this a little bit thicker. And then I do this. And then that's the pieces that we need. All that. You need all that. I should put one up here actually too. Up top. Make a little dot because it'll hold better that way. And then just gently lay it on top. Like I told you before, you know, you can tap it a little bit so you make sure that the glue parts are touching. But don't squish it down because it'll look odd. And then what I do is I turn it around so the pressure of this part lays on it so that it cools evenly. So as you can see now, once it's dry, you'll see the finished project. So everybody, this is the finished project. You can put that in the back of the cake. You can put it there. It doesn't look odd. It looks professional. And this is how you can actually make a cake topper. in any form that you want. As long as, like I said, when you put several layers, you can cut everything by hand if you want. Take the happy birthday and put your items on top. And then you take paper and then you trace over it like I did here with the program. But you can trace it by hand with a pencil. And then you put that, cut that out, and then put there. And then do the next one a little bit further out. You can do that by hand too. You don't need the Cricut machine. If you have lettering that you buy yourself, buy separately, stickers or whatever, you can use that too. Stick that on the paper, trace it around, but make sure that it's cardstock, not normal paper, because normal paper will just be too thin to use as a cake topper. So make sure you use cardstock. So that is the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I helped you guys out on how you can make a cake topper. That's all for the video today. If you like the video, please give it the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I would love to have you join my family, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!